Hey everyone, welcome to another headphone.ph video review. Today we have the Bowers Wilkins PX5 wireless noise cancelling headphone. This is part of Bowers Wilkins travel line, which has some in-ear monitors, and the PX7 being the top of the line. This headphone is an on-ear headphone and retails for $380. Locally, it's available for 18,990 pesos. Starting off with the packaging and build quality, the box is a standard cardboard box, and being a noise cancelling headphone, it comes with some accessories, namely the carry case, which is to me, which looks gorgeous and is very synergistic with the headphone, the way the headphone looks. It also comes with a USB-C charging cable and a 3.5mm jack if you want to use the headphone in wired mode. The headphone is built quite well. It has this woven fabric in the top part of the headband. It has this the same kind of fabric in the outer part of the ear cups. The middle part is a metal embossed with the brand, while the padding on both the headband and the ear pads are made of protein leather. The arms are made of composite carbon fiber, as I read from the website. All in all, it's a very light headphone, but there's still some heft into it that it doesn't feel cheap at all. The headphone has some controls in both the ear cups. The left ear cup has the single button for toggling noise cancellation modes, which there are 3: auto, low, and high. The right ear cups has the volume rocker, the multifunction button that works for playing and pausing the music, answering calls, and things like that. The switch, which turns off and turns on the headphone, and also is used for pairing it with your devices. The USB charging port, and finally the 3.5mm headphone jack. Comfort-wise, the headphone is it has a lot of padding, but the main problem with it is the lack of extension here in the headband. So I don't have a large head, and on most headphones I just have it in the middle part. But with this one, I have it maxed out, but I can still feel it's just barely fitting my head. I immediately feel a hot spot here at the top, which means if you have a large head, you definitely should cross out this headphone from the list. As a noise cancelling headphone, it has some features, namely the ambient pass-through, which basically, if you hold the button in the left ear cups, it makes you hear outside surroundings even if you're not taking the headphones off. It's useful for airline, whenever you're in a plane and there's some announcements from the cabin, you're going to be able to hear those announcements without you ever taking the headphone off. The modes, as I mentioned, are high, low, and auto. And there is also a wear sensor in this headphone, in that if you take it off your head, it would automatically pause the music, which is pretty neat. I experienced some issues with it though, in that sometimes it wouldn't detect me taking it off my head, so when I put them back on, it's gonna instead pause the music. I didn't experience it a lot of times, so maybe just some minor quibbles, but it's nonetheless worth mentioning in this review. So how does this headphone fare in terms of noise cancellation? I reviewed some headphones previously, and from memory, I can easily tell the noise cancelling capability of this is inferior to the ones I've reviewed. It just, even at high settings, it just doesn't remove the constant low frequency rumblings that you're hearing, and I find it just average at best. The actual noise cancelling modes don't really differ from each other. I find that the automatic and the highs are very the same, while the low is almost the same as when the cancelling is turned off. Moving on to sound quality, the headphone was mostly evaluated in its wireless mode because it's a noise cancelling headphone and it's mostly going to be used in this state. Overall, the signature is quite bassy, overly warm with recessed upper mid-range and some uneven high frequencies. The overall signature is it gives you that dark sound that is overly warm, but you also feel like the unevenness in the frequency spectrum. The interesting thing though is that because there is some unevenness, whatever that it dips in the spectrum, it retains in other places. So for example, the mid-range is mostly reduced, but the lower and mid-treble are both emphasized. So you sort of like gain back whatever is lost in those other frequencies. In terms of like wireless sound while the headphone is turned off, I did find that it reduces the sub and mid bass significantly while retaining the upper bass and lower mid range, and as a result it's less bassy, but at the same time it feels like the bass presence is incomplete. You sort of like lose the visceral, the impact part of the spectrum because it's just the upper bass that is emphasized, and as a result I find that when the headphone is in that mode, it's very mid-range focused almost. The wired sound, if you have noise cancelling enabled, is just similar to when it's in wireless mode. That's my findings. But when you turn off the noise cancelling while using it in wired mode, I find it easily to be the best signature, as it doesn't drop down the mid and sub bass, but it lowers the entire bass presence quite a bit, in that it flattens the beginning part of the frequency response. So the bass and the lower mid-range are still emphasized, not as overly done as when the headphone is in wireless mode. So as a result, the frequency response is smoother. So you definitely like feel that you're losing some of the like over darkness of the sound, and it makes it for a more pleasing listening experience. So I feel like with that being said, the headphone itself, it works if you are just using it in an office environment where you want to maybe reduce the noise of your colleagues, but at the same time don't want to distract yourself from your team. So do I recommend this headphone? Who is this headphone for? I feel like the headphone is for someone who prefers on-ear for some reason. Someone who likes the styling, like why not? I find the headphone gorgeous looking. And someone also who doesn't mind an slightly inferior noise cancelling capability in exchange for the form factor and just the overall looks. However, if you're in the market and you're really trying to find the best value for this type of headphone, there's just way better headphones out there in the market at a similar price range. The Sony WH-1000 and the Bose 700 are around the same prices as this one, if not even cheaper on Amazon. There's also some noise cancelling Sennheisers and Audio-Technica in the market that are priced considerably less than this. And as a whole, it makes it hard for me to recommend this headphone. So that's it for this review of the Bowers & Wilkins PX5 headphone. Do you own the headphone? Do you agree with my assessment? I'd like to hear your thoughts, so sound off in the comments section below. Thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe if you want more headphone review videos like this, and visit headphone.ph for the text version of this review and for other articles. I'll see you guys soon.